Yo, what is up, Sparks of the Paranormal family? I am so excited to be here. Brand new time. We had to shift it around because, as some of you guys know, I've started a new job, and it kind of makes it very difficult for me to be able to do the show and then be able to get ready and go to work. So uh, we switched over to 7 p.m. It's not only good for the show and good for me and my time, but it's also good for some of our other friends that are out there that do shows at the 8 o'clock time slot. So that way you don't have to try to be hopping around and switching in between shows, because we want to give them their due. And I want everybody to have their views because, it's a community. We're all friends. We're all family. And speaking of family, thank you to everyone that hung out last week for that 3-show marathon that absolutely kicked my butt. We had Zach from Rooted Expeditions on the show, and then we hopped over to his show where he interviewed me, and then we all joined up for the after party, and it was absolutely fantastic. A great time, and so blessed to have him in my life. Once again, that's family, guys. It's more than just a community. It's more than friends. It's family. And speaking of family, I am super stoked for today. You guys, if you remember and listen to any of the audio podcasts from back when we got this whole thing started, you're going to know this episode because it was absolutely intense. And it was one of those, it was actually the first one that went over an hour, and literally there was so much in it that God, man, there's just so much. This guy is fantastic and I love him, and he's been up to some crazy stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go ahead and bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, you've seen the title, so you kind of already know who it is, but boom, Connor Flynn from Bigfoot and I. What is up, dude?
What's up, guys? How's it going, man? What an honor to be here back again with the visuals this time.
With the visuals, absolutely. Let's go ahead real quick. Let's say hi to some people. We've got Tony from Haunted Expeditions in the house. Tony, how's it going, girl? We've got my girl Jane from Shadow Visions down in Australia. Yeah, dude, she's awesome. She's awesome. Her and PETA from Ethereal Sisters are doing some work together, putting out some really good stuff. We've got Mike's Adventures. Mike, how's it going? We have the other half of the Sparks of the Paranormal team. That's right, my girl Keisha's in the house. Let's see who else has stopped by. We're gonna have more. We're gonna have more stop in. It's still early. But dude, let's just go ahead and let's dive into some goodness. Run me back through your first cryptid experience, because dude, it's nuts for one, and two, I love stories.
Yeah. I had 2 big cryptid experiences when I was a young boy that really stick out to me. One was the Wolfman encounter at Sleepy Hollow, and then the other one was the bear cat down at my grandparents' farm. And at my grandparents' farm, we used to hike hundreds of miles, every season, in the snow, in the summer. And my uncle was very strict with us, and I used to think it was just being mean and overpowering, but now I'm looking back, I think he had his own encounters in those woods. But I talked to my cousin who's older than me. He's my mom's cousin. He was followed one time with something on 2 legs before an early hunt, early in the morning, and my grandpa always kind of dismisses the subject. And I played him some audio of my cousin Eddie talking about his experience, and he really couldn't shake that one. But my own experience, me and my friend Jake, who was also in my Wolfman encounter, he's a very close friend of mine, and we've meditated together, done a bunch of psychedelics. We know the truths of the earth, and we're true explorers. So I think that really brings the cryptids and the encounters and scary ghosts to us. You already know it goes by energy and vibrations and frequencies. And when you align yourself with Mother Nature and what's out there, the door opens to pretty much everything. But we were hiking with my dog, who was a black lab, huge dog, and then 2 blue healers. And after our hike, we went down towards under the tree fort, and it was up about 20 feet in the air. And my uncles used it as a location to hunt out of a tree blind. But before that, we used it as our grandchildren tree fort. And we were laying on the bank and throwing rocks and messing with the dogs, really just lost in time. We were exhausted from the long hike. And then we hear the dogs start rustling up a weird noise, and they're looking up in the trees, and down comes this brown animal that it looked like a big feral cat or a feral dog. And it was high up in the trees, kind of like a badger or maybe a beaver. But I talked to my buddy Jake. He's like, that thing was as big as Seiko, your black lab. And we pretty much ran off, and the dog circled it. And it wasn't a Bigfoot or anything like that. It wasn't a man. It was more of a feral type creature. It could have been a panther, but it was more – I think it was more like the bear cat, man. It was mangy, and it's been out there for a while. And luckily the dogs made their way back after a while. Just 30 seconds, which feels like a lifetime when you're in the midst of, a predator and adrenaline pumping through your veins. And, we go and talk to my grandparents, and they weren't surprised. And they killed a couple bobcats on the property and seen a couple bears. So they just tried saying it was a big cat. But me and Jake really know it was something else. And then a couple of years later, we had an encounter with something that was about 5 times bigger than our little bear cat friend. It was the Wolfman of Sleepy Hollow. And in my first book, Eerie Swamps Road Trip to Eden, I asked Jake and Alex to type up their testimony about what happened. And I'm going to share that real quick because that explains kind of the prelude to what happened in my encounter, because my encounter happened about 2 months after their roadside encounter, and all I heard was about the wolf man, and it was right before the dog man term was ever coined, but it was a werewolf. It was a big creature. But my buddy Alex wrote, well, I guess my statement would be, I take a left onto Sunrise Oval off of Sleepy Hollow Road. As we pull in, we stop because we think a deer is crossing the road. When we looked, though, it wasn't a deer. It was something on 2 legs that ran across the road faster than any person could run. It ran up a hill in almost a gallop. And Jake wrote, pulling up into the Sleepy Hollow neighborhood, woods to the left, big field hill to the right with a red barn at the top of the hill. As we were pulling in slowly, we see a figure crossing the road on 2 legs resembling a werewolf, Bigfoot, bigger than any human, and as soon as it crosses the street, it dead sprints up and towards a barn, running faster than humanly possible. Still feels like a dream. And I love that still feels like a dream part, because it could work on so many levels. These creatures are man-like, and deja vu and other phenomenons that us human can present. Think about what an alpha earthling creature could put into us, even just the sight of it could stop time for us. But that was a couple months before my encounter. And Alex wrote a little bit to intro it. Second story, I believe you were there. We heard rustling outside my walkout basement. We look out the window. There were eyes like 5'5" and 6 foot looking in the window, taller than any known Ohio animal could stand. And that's what happened. Go ahead, John.
No, it's absolutely crazy. Like I for one, as somebody who does like actual like video work and stuff like that, it's crazy to hear that second account there, because I'm loving the way he's setting it up, because in my mind, I'm seeing just the cinematic flow of everything, and it's beautiful imagery for one, but two, dude, like, what? Like that is just nuts.
It was
because like one of my favorite cryptids of all time. Obviously, we're still at the point now where I'm still irritated at the fact that I still have not had a cryptid encounter. But my favorite cryptid of all time is the Wolfman or the Dogman. Like, I don't know why. I think it's just because even though it could kill me, it's part dog and I kind of want to pet it. But still, like it's just, dude, I love stories. I love the stories about this kind of thing. But go ahead, bud.
Yeah, and werewolves have always been engraved in our culture, growing up. Even like the 3 wolves with little Red Riding Hood, those are talking wolves. And in Ireland, they have fairy tales about a farmer named Connor who meets the wolf that he actually took care of when it was pinched with a sharp like wooden piece as a baby, and then it was protecting him. It's a very cool story. I didn't do it justice just summarizing it, but. That night, I was staying with my buddy Alex before a golf league every Saturday morning. So that Friday night, we were staying at Alex's house, and he was loaded. So the house was decked out. I was just happy to be there with Jake and Alex, enjoying myself. We were shooting pool in the basement, and he has got this long glass back door. The walkout basement. You guys all seen it. And then it goes about 40 yards of yard, and then it dips down into a den, into a creek, caverns, everything,
Yeah.
caves and cliffs. And Ohio is known for land of the mound builders and Ohio grassland. So it's always been the talk, and then the Brunswick Beast was a little chupacabra, strange creature. Named after Brunswick Blue Devils, our high school mascot. So everything has freaking ties and roots to reality. But we're shooting pool, and then we hear some rustling outside. But more importantly, we felt it inside of us that a presence was over there. So we stopped playing pool. We turn off all the lights, and we're like peeking through this little side window off to the side, and we're like trying to look, and then it just magnetizes us in, and it's down in the den, and it's staring straight at us, and you can just see its freaking hulking figure. And I really don't remember if the eyes or anything. Alex says he clearly sees the eyes. I just remember seeing the hulking figure and seeing something was down there, and I was like, no, I'm not going down there, because I knew how far down there was, because I saw it during the light, and I was like, oh, that's not a normal person would be down there.
Yeah.
And it had to be some type of creature, and it could have been a huge panther or a bear, but it also was man-like. So I think it was the dog man, the wolf man, and it might have some ties to Sleepy Hollow. We've also seen some crazy feral black dogs around there, and truthfully, I think these dog men have herds, and they probably have hyenas at this point that they can control, just like how Bigfoot have dogs and runners.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's a ton of theories about Bigfoot and things like this, and I'm sure you remember the episodes that I've done with my buddy Jason from Texas, who is a huge, for lack of a better term on his part, cryptozoologist. But he has a theory that maybe what we're seeing out there is not necessarily Bigfoot, more as it is maybe remnants of Neanderthal-like creatures that are still wearing like bear hides and things like that. And if you think about it, that's a great point on your part. They, like us, use dogs to hunt. So I mean, that's a pretty interesting concept. But one of my favorite stories.
They use birds. They use birds too. They're the masters of the forest, so they use birds to communicate, to look out, to gather things. It's crazy.
Which could be technically where some of the Thunderbird sightings come from.
Yeah,
which is intriguing.
I never really honestly pictured them controlling the Thunderbirds, but I always pictured like little crows and something like sneaky and ninja-like. But Thunderbirds, dude, it all connects together 100%.
Yeah,
and elves and fae and gnomes and trolls.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure.
It's a lot closer than everybody thinks.
Yeah, and one of my favorite stories about dogmen. I don't know if you remember. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the show, but on Paranormal Witness, that came on the Sci-Fi Channel. There was an episode about dogmen where this guy and his family bought an old farm out in Connecticut, and one night, him and his son down on their back 40, they see flashing lights. They go out there into the woods, and it feels like they're being hunted by something. And they kind of, eventually, they meet back up after splitting up to check out the woods and stuff like that. Can't find the source of flashing lights. It had stopped. They made their way back to the house the next night. The guy is sitting out on the porch with his wife, and he gets, as a hunter, you have this feeling where you can master your domain, but you also understand the imminent threat of danger. And all of a sudden, he has that threat of danger while he is looking out into these woods that are, huge distance away from the house. And he's like, he grabs his wife and he goes, "We need to get inside. I don't know what's going on. We need to get inside." And then all of a sudden he just drags her inside. And then he looks out and he sees 5 creatures out in the pasture, and they're hunched down. And then one of them stands up, and it's a dog man. But If you guys, the entire encounter is absolutely insane. It is actually so good that, and this is the only thing that I own from Apple TV. I have the episode downloaded on my phone because I love it that much. But occasionally I will sit down and I will just watch that episode. But as somebody who is a huge, ghost freak and stuff like that, it's strange to have such a obsession with cryptids, but I do. And that is my favorite cryptid. But that episode, if you guys can find it, I suggest you watch it, because if you think demons and scary Bigfoot encounters were something to chill up your spine, just let the look say it for you, okay?
You should try to interview the family.
Man, I want to so badly. I want to. I can't find their actual names. Some of their stuff was redacted out of the episode, so it's kind of sad. It makes me sad, but
I'll try to dig into it too. You might just have to
like
call it Sci-Fi Channel, or just call them and be like, hey, present yourself. You're an honorable man.
Yeah. I mean, that's an idea. I mean, I definitely want to try to get a hold of them and try to do that. But dude, like, you've been up to some crazy stuff. So let's talk the books, man, because you've put out a couple of books so far. We're talking about the what is it, the Road Trip to Eden,
the
Erie Swamps,
Road Trip to Eden. That's the first one, and then the second one is Big Brother, Bigfoot, and then the third one is Monsters and Mysteries Around the Corner. And then I'm working on a couple more. My next one's going to be called Every Camp Has a Crystal Lake. And that one's going to be about haunted camp.
I love that.
And then something new is going to be called Adventures of Countryman and Sabretooth. And Sabretooth is my buddy Ronnie, who found that giant bone, who we've been gathering a lot of buzz about. And it's something to establish a bond and a movement, because when we go out exploring, things happen. And it's a very cool mixture of, hippie comic store dude and a military veteran who is a gatherer, who knows his stuff, who's part Native American, is really one with the lore. So the mixture of vibrations really comes together. And he's in a lot of the early books too. But man, my first book, man, Erie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, is my heart and soul. And it's really cool because I was just about to publish the books when we first spoke, right?
Exactly. And that's why, I'm just blown away at how much you have done in this short amount of time. Dude, you're blowing up, and it's a blessing to watch, man. Obviously you've got that whole thing. Talk to me about what's going on with that bone, because you said you guys have generated some. What is going on with that?
Yeah. It's pretty funny because we posted the video, probably 7 months ago. And what's happening now, or, what's a little bit happening now, is what I thought was going to happen right when I dropped the bone. I thought people were going to be like, whoa. And, but I published a video of the bone that Ronnie found, a giant bone here in one of the Mariana Creeks that is in between a bunch of Indian mounds, civilizations, and Sasquatch sightings. It's a historic creek. There's megalodon teeth and a bunch of vertebrae from a bunch of crazy animals. And he found this bone a while back, and we became friends naturally, just talking about some goofy stuff at the comic book store and being outcast of society. And he brought the bone up one time, and we made a video about it, and I put it on my Instagram, and then I put it on my TikTok. And then a couple of weeks ago, probably a month ago now, this lady from the UK, I don't remember her name, but she wrote an awesome article for the Daily Mail UK. It's like a satire website, about cool findings. And she wrote a nice little thing about a Bigfoot bone, and she wrote that I was Ronnie, and because my voice comes in about 30 seconds into the video, I was letting him explain it. And she got some details wrong, but she did present everything correctly. And then she presented everything, happily for us. And then a bunch of other articles picked up on it. And Coast to Coast wrote an article. Tim Binnall, thanks, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was very cool. I really hope to be on the radio show here soon. Talk about anything. I would love to talk about my sightings. The bone is really just the tip of the spear, but it's the first metacarpal thumb bone. It's actually right here. I have a picture of it. And recently the Discovery Channel actually reached out to us, and we might be on an episode of Destination X with Josh Gates. So it's very cool, you know, especially for me and you to share this, because I know that where we were, and you know, it's nothing has changed. I'm still in my trailer working my 9 to 5, but you know, it's cool. It's cool establishing things, and I'm looking for change, of course, but I'm not looking for all that glitz and glamour. I'm looking for more exploration, and you know that I've been well busy.
It's about knowledge. It's always about knowledge.
Yep, about knowledge and exploration and sharing fun times and experiences with people. You know, people think ghost hunting and Bigfoot hunting is a quack, but it's honestly a history lesson and a way to dig deep into the roots in the soil. And it's one of the most respectful things I've ever been a part of, because every time we go out, we're looking to honor the people that walk the path before us, you know?
Yeah. And that's a great point. You know, before we actually did this, I was talking to you about last weekend when Keisha and I were out with Old Dominion Paranormal at the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. And, you know, I'm one of those people that I have to process everything that went down before I even start looking at footage. And I came to this huge realization that I started doing the paranormal, research to prove what was going on, or to disprove what was going on. But that's not what it's about. What it is about is it is our job to tell the story. Just because it may not be major history doesn't mean it's not history. Our job is to tell someone's story that wasn't able to tell it themselves. And it's an honor. It's an honor.
It is.
And we had Keisha and I and the rest of the team from Old Dominion had some insane experiences, and we got some crazy stories. And when you can confirm some stuff for the people that own the place about a story that they believed happened but weren't sure.
Right.
There's so much to it.
That's ground game.
It's our job.
Yep.
It's our job to go out and to tell these stories, to find these stories and to convey them to the world. And you're doing that. You're doing that. And dude, we follow each other everywhere at this point. We just, I don't know, dude. Like you and I, we hit it off almost immediately, and it was absolutely fantastic. And I love watching all of these different places that you visit. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. And what I also love is your excitement and your zeal to get out there and to just to do the dang thing. Like, I love it, man. I like, honestly, if the people from Destination X show up, bro, I hope you get your own show.
Thanks, bro. That's what I'm honestly trying to manifest, like, because I'm goofy like the swamp people and the duck hunters. Forget that family, its name, but
Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty. How did I forget that? And because I forgot that because they got their show. We're on to our show. We're on to Sparks the Paranormal. And it would be awesome to be on Destination X and then just to get to see a little piece of me. And hopefully it really sets off because I have so much to explore and share that I already know that I really want to get to a bigger audience. And it's really cool, stemming from the Georgia Guidestones to little abandoned trailers at the end of dead ends around here that are just the hurricane. Like, I'm trying to tell all the stories, and I love sharing it like this just because this stays a staple in time. Our words and our chemistry and our connection of vibrations right now transcends to so much knowledge, and other people will talk. It's a beautiful thing, and just it's our second time around, man. Stars aligned. It's a magical thing, and it's awesome to see you out in the field going at it too, because I remember you were saying you were just going to be pretty much doing it behind the desk.
This is it, behind the mic,
thrown into it, and you've been dynamic at it. It's incredible to see, and you're perfect for the world of it, bro. I'm so excited.
I really appreciate that. Real quick, let's go ahead and let's say hi to some more people while we can. Let's see. We've got Zach from Rooted Expeditions. Zach, dude, we love you, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Our girl Cassie, how's it going? So, actually, now that Cassie's in here, I want to go ahead and I want to do this right now on the show. So we had, for those of you guys who know, I used to be a part of What the Frick Live every Friday night over on the Manifest Network with Emily Menshouse. We put out a challenge, the EMF challenge, for people to do, and then to tag us and the new reality in, and to prove that your EMF will not go off when your phone is on airplane mode. And the best video would win a K2 Brute shirt that I had designed. So it is official right now because the thing is over. Cassie has won the K2 Brute shirt. So Cassie, shoot me a message on Instagram and we are going to go ahead and we're going to get you that shirt. Also, let's see who else is out here. Oh, this one's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Alyssa's Haunted Adventures. For those of you guys who don't know, Alyssa is Keisha's daughter. She is obsessed with the paranormal. She wants to get out and do her own thing. So she's 11. She's a youngling, but girl's got potential. So we designed her a logo, and she is going to start investigating here very soon. We're going to be helping her do some investigations. Guys, go and follow her channel. Check her out because there's going to be some amazing stuff coming out of this kid for sure. For sure. Also, Nicole Perrin, what's up, girl? Laura, how's it going? Man, there's so many people. Oh, this guy right here. This guy right here. Guys, this guy right here. Daniel Moreno, a.k.a. Dantex. Paranormal Unity in a person. I love this guy. If you guys are not following him, he will let you know everything that is going on in the paranormal community, all the shows, everything that is happening. This guy is amazing. We're also going to have him on the show at the end of May. So you guys really want to hang out for that. Geez, so many people in here. Goodness. Fake Jason Paranormal. Anthony, what's up, buddy? We've got Cody and Sean from the New Reality in here. What's going on, guys? Dude, I'm blown away at the people that are rolling up in this thing today. Also, oh my God, Josh and Marianne from Tip of TV. How's it going? Jesus, there's so many people. Mark B's here. Like, I had no idea what was happening. Tamara, what's going on? I think that's everybody. Guys, bear with us. There's so much happening right now. So, dude, so what's next on your agenda? What do you have coming up that other than obviously the Destination X, what is your next adventure that you're going on?
Yeah, we're definitely going to Wakulla Springs here soon to explore where they first filmed The Creature from the Black Lagoon. We've been going kayaking like crazy the past few weeks, and we actually got caught in a really bad storm like about 9 days ago, one of the worst storms of the year, and we got caught under a bridge, and my neighbor had to save me, and thank God he picked up my phone, and my phone was dry, but it was almost a missing 401 situation. We got separated.
Oh, wow.
My buddy Ronnie, and his kayak went down the river, and he had to take my kayak into the storm to grab his. And then while we were getting picked up, he was still downriver. I didn't know where he was. I was close to calling the police. And luckily, I went back down under bridge. I'm screaming for him, Ronnie. Oh, our ride's here. And it's pouring down rain sideways. And there's pink lightning. It was so crazy. And I hear him like down the river. And because he's towing his kayak upstream in the rain, barely could tie it. You know, it was madness. And I was shivering. I was in water shoes. It was sunshine and rainbows for freaking 3.5 hours, and then boom, out of nowhere, a huge storm came, and it was very scary. And there's tons of Sasquatch sightings along that river, and it was right after Ronnie found out about the newspaper articles and about the giant bone. So he's like, oh, we have to go back and I'll show you where the clavicle is, because I guess there's a collarbone of a giant inside the rock, and that's where hopefully we're going to take Destination X and go explore it. And it's pretty wild because the movie Cobra Gator was filmed there, and it's like a huge serpentine, like Nessie-like creature. So when I'm out there, I'm looking for that because I'm like, there's some roots in reality, and there's tons of alligators and big snake, So, but at that point, I didn't really care about the reptiles because the storm was going to kill us. And he was so worried about the lightning. And he's like, get the paddle out of the water. I'm like, dude, lightning, boom, I'm dead. Hypothermia or taken into one of these holes by an unknown swamp thing creature, I'll be dead real quick. It would be horrible. But man, yeah, it's crazy. Is madness.
That's fantastic though, man. Like you got a place like that where you've got a giant clavicle, you've got tons of Sasquatch experiences, you've got all kinds of, obviously, the Sci-Fi Channel doing their thing with some obscene movie, but I can't be mad at him. I spent an entire summer in high school just sitting in a recliner watching every single Sci-Fi Channel movie as it came on. They're horrible, but I love them. But there's always an element of truth in every urban legend, and you have to find where that nugget of truth is. And it's crazy because Creature from the Black Lagoon, obviously, an absolute, it's a film classic for sure, but it's based on an urban legend. What is that nugget of truth behind it? And that's our job when we're out there, is to find what it is that is bringing to life these legends.
Yep.
And dude, I'm jealous that you're going out there again, and I can't wait to see what you find, dude. I don't know if you have enough. I'm waiting for you to start going live places.
Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for.
Should. Honestly, I have limited data on my phone. I need to get that just switched to probably pay like $15 more. I need to start going live on TikTok more because that helps generate a little bit of a buzz or just some kind of momentum. And,
or even on Instagram, anywhere. You need to start putting out YouTube videos, man.
My YouTube video, my YouTube channel, everything that I upload goes straight to YouTube, and it goes before Instagram and everything. Sometimes when I do interviews with people and I don't feel it's going to fit Instagram because it's so long, I put it on YouTube. But I need to get somebody to start editing my videos or something. But I am really ready for the Wakulla Springs because there's a rumor of a volcano down there, and Eastern American volcano is just uncharted.
It's unheard of. Yeah.
And it's a Native American legend that dark smoke out of deep in the woods. So we're going to take some kayaks down some streams and hopefully look for some shark teeth and hopefully come across the creature from the Black Lagoon from a safe distance. And
let's hope it's from a safe distance.
We will see. They creep up on you a lot quicker than possible because it's camouflage out there, man. And I'm sure they have a couple abilities just like Sasquatch. They say they can stop time or stuff, but our protons and electrons, we come in particle and wave form. And most of the time we're particle, because it's 99% of the time we're physical form. But that small percentage, we could be wave form. And I think that they have channeled their true being on Earth, and they're able to maybe slide into that dimension just for a second. So it's not anything like, you step in dimensions. It's really just being yourself that much that you're supernatural.
Yeah.
Supernatural, you're so natural that it's super. Paranormal, it's just normal. Everything is swept under the rug to think it's so strange. Mound builders blanketed this country and everybody's country that's listening. There's giant monoliths and megaliths that are unexplained by modern science, and modern science is just a pocketbook. So I don't have much time for it when I've held a giant bone and modern science says the giants never existed. But the Bible says it does, and most of other historical books do too. So David versus Goliath, and I think it's David versus Goliath right now in society. It's the little man versus the big man, and the little man has to stick together or it's going to be divide and conquer. It's crazy times right now in the world. But speaking of bad sci-fi films, I wanted to throw it out there. One thing coming out is Zillafoot. I'm in it, and I play a cryptid research officer, and the pre-order is live right now. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I only had to memorize like 2 of the lines, and then the rest they just told me just to ad lib and go. And I got designed a part of the set. Like there's a blackboard behind, so I wrote some crazy stuff behind there. Oh, it's so magical, man. The movie was originally based out of New York, made by Anthony Polino, like 5 years ago, and then there's a reshoot for a couple shots, and they sent it to a bunch of filmmakers around America, maybe around the world. And my buddy Jack, who's an FSU film student, I sent his information to you a while back to interview.
Because I've been needing to get a hold of him, dude.
Jack McClellan, man, Altered Cortex Design. He is awesome. He made a Bigfoot documentary called Bridges that he interviews the Bridges family, who is the main person in the Finding Bigfoot Florida episode. They had Bigfoot activity on their glass window. They've had Dogman activity. I was just actually past their house yesterday exploring this High Lie arena. Well, just exploring the outside, because we were in a rush to go to Florida State, which is also Ted Bundy's murder place. So a lot is going on. But I took some pictures outside, and he's like, and my buddy was like, we should go in real quick. I was like, no, can't go unprepared, because there's freaking Dogman sightings in the area. And I've heard of Dogman being in abandoned warehouses and down in sewers. So I'm not playing any games, man. I'm nervous with feral people and abandoned or homeless people. You know, I was homeless once, but I didn't bite anybody. But you never know. But
again, this is Florida.
It's Florida, man, and the water has been bad. It's crazy. Everybody's in isolation. You know, they're like hanging out in these abandoned places. And I've heard so many stories of trap doors and portals through abandoned houses. So every time I'm urban exploring and making a video, I'm honestly making a video for my safety, you know? And then once my phone goes in my pocket, that's my vulnerable time when I'm exploring. But then at least I have 2 free hands. And then my hand's on my knife, you know? But Zillafoot was crazy. I play a cryptid research officer. I go off on a tangent about how this monster creature is going to come and wipe out the military. And they're like, yeah, you're probably right, but you got to be out of here, man. They escort me out. And then I'm guessing the creature comes and demolishes us. But
that's awesome.
Bigfoot and half Zilla and half Godzilla, and there's aliens, and it's gonna be crazy. The artwork is phenomenal. The movie's gonna be like a C sci-fi, a B or C sci-fi. Yeah. But hey, I'm excited, man. And all those movies,
it's gonna be what I call horribly amazing.
Dude, I'm hoping it goes cult level, and I'm like the cryptid research specialist, and I make it in all the movies, and I'm like the guy that warns the military. I'm like, no, the tremors are coming. No,
you basically become Brent Spiner from Independence Day.
Yeah. Of all the sci-fi movies, I would love it. It would be an honor, you know, to spread the words, because there's truth in cinema, and there's not much heart in cinema nowadays with Hollywood. So it would be nice to bring some essence to the table, to the chalkboard.
Just a little craziness, a little fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, man. I just run full speed at a lot of this stuff, and sometimes I get a skin knee, and sometimes we're stranded under a bridge in the hurricane conditions or monsoon conditions. Oh man, it is crazy. And we've had other encounters that I ended up in the middle of the swamp in Louisiana with my buddy Adam with my pants down, because I had an accident I'm thinking I was hit by infrasound, but I was jumping across a gap and I ended up sharding in my pants, and then I had to hide it from who I was hiking with, so I had to separate myself, and then something charged me in the woods. And it's in my chapter in the Big Brother Bigfoot Pascagoula incident. It's on the Pascagoula River. So I think it was actually in Mississippi, not Louisiana, but it was all the same day and night. But the Pascagoula River alien incident, 2 men got abducted there and then taken up to a flying saucer, and hundreds of people around town saw a UFO that night. And they have a crazy story. They've been on Discovery and a bunch of crazy channels. And we were at a gator farm on a Rougarou. That was what the
Oh
The
yeah.
boat was called. And rest in peace, Sam from Moss Point Gator Farm. He just passed away. He was awesome, man. He was telling us about werewolves and rougarous and everything. I have some cool videos of him. And he was on a bunch of TV shows. I thought about messaging them the videos that I had of him, but I'm like, dude, there's tons of video, like professionally, not to say I'm not professionally doing it, but like TV stations videotape for him. So they have their videos of the guy, but rest in peace. He lives forever. But yeah, I got caught with my pants down because I think it made me crap myself. And I had a really bad stomachache after that. And that was probably the last time I actually done loud Sasquatch calls, because I was just trying to stir up the noise out there just to stir my buddy Adam up, because I like messing with people, but I learned quickly not to. So, now I'm very strict with my vibrations that I expel.
In more than one way. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I want to go back to what you were talking about, how we exist in both particle and in waveform. Because that is for one, it's a great concept. But the first thing that pops into my head is, you could be, if you spend enough time around somebody, you understand their vibration, you understand their essence and who they are. You could be blindfolded and know when they walk into a room. Like it's that kind of thing. And I think that's a great concept. And even, when I've told my stories of paranormal experiences on several shows, and it's another one of those things where you can sense danger. You can sense when you're not in danger, when something is coming around. That is a phenomenal concept for sure. And I never even thought about it like that. So that's really cool. I would like to see somebody kind of dive into that aspect of what the paranormal is, and see what we can do with that knowledge. Because once again, you're talking about science being a pocketbook, man. Like it's, if we don't start working hand in hand, nothing is going to get achieved. Everybody wants to joke about the show Ghostbusters in the movies, but the truth of the matter is the fact they were scientists that were out to prove everything. They were using their scientific knowledge to go out and to try to catch these things. And if we don't actually start buckling down and trying to find a way to get science to understand what we're doing here, we're never really going to bring anything to the forefront. We've hit mainstream. We've got shows, we've got our own corner of YouTube. We've got, podcasts out in the atmosphere, just bouncing around like crazy everywhere. And there are people putting this stuff out, but if we don't get help from that scientific community, how are we really going to be able to bring this to people?
I don't think we're ever going to get real help from scientific. Sorry to interrupt you, brother, but we're never going to get help from scientific community. Freaking Scott Carpenter and his team, the Genome Project. There's tons of broadcasts on YouTube of them doing presentations. They had 125 samples, DNA samples, blood, saliva, hair, all of Sasquatch, all 100% real, authenticated, and the information's out there. I have a giant bone. That, like, honestly, if they test it and it comes up unknown creature, nothing new. Everything has already been discovered. They have these bodies, Mount St. Helens. They recovered more than 60 bodies. The Kandahar giant over in Iraq or Afghanistan. It's crazy. They've swept so much under the rug that we're like fighting to prove something that's already been proven. These are people.
We're trying to just bring it into the light, trying to bring it into the forefront.
And that's all we can do. And I think we're doing a great job. And there definitely is an oversaturation of it, but I love it. I just want as much as possible. Sadly, I think the government or the black ops and whoever's going into it, they're creating their own nonsense too. And some of these shows, they portray some false things, so they make a joke out of it, and we need to just keep being authentic and fight for the truth 100%.
And that's why I trust more people on YouTube than I will on the actual television.
Right.
Because
100%.
we're the ones that are out there we don't have that censorship. We don't have somebody holding our hand saying this is what you can and can't talk about. And The problem is the fact that when we try to go out there and we try to do our own thing, we try to, prove these things and to bring it into the forefront and bring it into your mind, we end up coming across like Woody Harrelson's character from 2012, who's, living out of an RV and just freaking out all of the time and trying to warn people, and people are like, you're nuts. No, I'm not actually nuts. I am paying attention to what's going on. There's a difference. The problem is the fact that you live in your own little bubble and you're not listening. And, we've got to get out of that bubble. We need to start paying attention to what is happening in the world around us. We need to start looking into history, not just our history, but every history, because there's shreds of evidence everywhere that you look, and you just have to open your freaking eyes.
100%.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I can get on a bit of a pedestal sometimes.
I like it, man. No, times are really backwards right now, and they're trying to divide and conquer us. We need to keep forward towards the light, and it starts with truth. And we're raising awareness about weird truths, but it's still truth. And I think it gets us closer to the creator, or maybe our loved ones, or just closer to ourselves. There's such a disconnect in the mirror nowadays. So it's like if there's Bigfoot and gargoyles and Mothman and elves and mermaids, then we're not that different from one another, So all this division, black and white, black and brown, Asian and what Mexican, like it's too much, man. We're people under the same sky. We could be different, but there should be no division or hatred between us, because no one's better than anybody, man. We're under the same sky, and our ancestors are grand. It goes so much beyond even the mound builders. Look at mud fossils. People and Titans could be miles long. Mud Fossil University finds dragons in the desert that you can see where its neck got slashed and then it bleeds out, and you can see the red in the clay and how it changes. Like our history is extraordinary, and if we understood how grand things were and how special and how sacred our time here was, there'd be a little less anxiety and everybody would slow down a little bit, and hatred would dwindle out. Like, man, fear is up, so all that stuff is up too. It's very sad. We need to slow down a little bit and believe in ourselves. We lived our whole life okay and all right. We will be okay and all right.
Yeah, exactly. We just, it's like I said, it's just you've got to open your eyes. You got to pay attention. You've got to stick your ear to the ground and just listen, because there's going to be somebody out there who is going to have some shred of knowledge for you. It doesn't matter what you don't even have to be into this stuff. You could be into the friggin' stock market. You could be into robotics. You could be into whatever. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not listening, you're never truly going to understand. And it's sad to say, but we're constantly, we have, how do I put this? Our existence is like a mix between the Matrix and Equilibrium. If we're talking on a movie scale,
we're not allowed to have feelings, and everything's digital and locked down. 100%, man.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get back to a world where it's kind of like, I'm a fan of the Westerns, man. That's where you've got that freedom. You can do what you want to. You can take that step. If you want to go, hop on a horse and ride across the mountains, go hop on a horse and ride across the mountains.
Right.
You understand all of the negatives and all of the positives of the journey that you're on, and you're just going to take it. That's exactly what I want for the world. I want everyone to open their eyes, understand the positives and the negatives, and be ready to jump in and do whatever they want to do. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything in the world of the paranormal. Just as long as you're ready and you have that knowledge and you're ready to go. And that's what all of us are doing. At least that's what we should be striving to do, is to bring a new, fresh knowledge to everyone. And I say this so much, and I'm sure you will agree with me. What should be your goal at the end of every day? It should be to attain one new piece of information, because you should be able to want to be better the next day than you were today. And, if that helps you with whatever journey that you're on, you got to do it. You got to freaking do it, man. You got to do it.
100%, man. I wake up every day ready for something new, and I try to write something down in my dream journal or something new, type something for my book, just because new day brings new vibrations. And I hate even having to go to an electronic to type it. I wish I could just like put it out there. Of course I could write with pen and paper, but then it would just it would be redundant. I still have to be at maximum efficiency. But yeah, it's a quite battle fighting versus the evil and dark of the light and night, but I keep going straight towards the finish line, man. And every day I'm just trying to be better and share some knowledge. And if it's in a nice video form, then heck yeah. If it's, sharing a local story at the comic book store with these people, you would be surprised. A lot of these people that don't know the local history about the caverns or the Dozier School or even the Pond Wild Man that was captured in the 1800s. Not a lot of people know about that, and I want to raise awareness because that's one of the best Bigfoot stories that are out there. And I think it has been covered up and not covered on these T shows because it is such solid evidence. They captured a Bigfoot in the Ocheesee Pond in the 1800s. Indian gatherers, Native American gatherers, and Civil War veterans after it was harassing women and children. And they captured it, and it was a tall man, like 7 foot tall, covered in hair, and he was just mumbling. They sent him to the hospital because they thought he was an escaped lunatic. And then they kept him there for 3 years, and he ended up dying. And they buried him out by the golf course. And that's pretty well known knowledge to the people. If it's 50-50. Half the coin is out there in space and the other coin is here on Earth, but it's a great story, and I want to raise awareness, and hopefully with the Discovery Channel or anybody, we get the story out there because
exactly.
It's solid. It's solid. And there's a lot of people that have had local and recent encounters all around there. One guy, he's a radio technician, old retired guy, and he has hearing aids, and he made it himself. And he can listen into the swamp and listen to these things breathing. It's pretty wild. It's far out, but man, this old timer knows. And some of his family has kind of thrown him out, but he's well respected around the swamp because there's more than 10 people who share the same encounters and them running past the house and beating on trailers. It's wild. And I heard there's an island there that they found 2 mummified Native Americans in like a little hut. So my destination is going to be kayaking and trying to find those locations. But the ley lines converge, and where the treasure stands, these creatures will protect it. So pray for me, because I'm going to be a little knife and flare gun. No, I'm going to come with, positive vibrations. I'm just trying to explore. I'm not honestly trying to take anything. I don't even have to videotape it. I'm just trying to see uncharted territory, and that's what I'm all about. Diving into the swamp and looking for gold, gems, rubies. I found this big, we thought it was obsidian, but it had purple and green reflections in it. And I kept joking and saying it was dragon glass, from Game of Thrones. It happened that day when the storm came. So I don't know if I summoned some kind of demon, but we ditched the kayaks that day in the forest, and then him and his buddy went the next day. Of course, the rock doesn't come back. And I don't give enough. Even if it's worth $1 million, chuck it in the river if that's what's meant to be, Oh, well.
Yeah.
They can send the divers for it, but I'm pretty sure it was just a nice piece of obsidian, but it was beautiful. And that's what they used to make gemstones out of. So I could definitely see Bigfoot, lurking, enlarging all the hidden fossils around the towns. And we've been going into caves after dark. It's been pretty wild the past few weeks because we've been really diving into this crap.
Well, we're getting into the best time of the year to be out and investigating. It's not frigid anymore. We're able to kind of do what we need to do, and it's getting a lot better. Even for ghost investigations, I'm going to tell you, man, some of those investigations that we did earlier, when it's 30 degrees outside, hell no.
Yeah.
But this. Hey, dude, we're gonna wrap this up real quick, man. I've got all of your links, guys. All of his links are down in the description below. And he's got what, four books out now? 5?
3 books out, and then 4 more coming. 4 more will be out this year. So I'll have like 7 books out, and then I'll start doing some maybe like illustration books and then poetry books. Just because I'm a writer, man. I've written over 500 songs, and I have a novel that's a fictional novel too about the beginning of the universe that I have to go in and proofread. But I hope to drop that soon, and I'm gonna release a music album here soon. I'm really pumped just to keep running full speed at this world, man.
You're
it's
just
nothing.
an artist, man.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And sometimes it leads me on the outside of society and rejected. But the people that it's made for, they accept it. So that's what it's about. And anybody that's down for the culture and down for a good cause, Bigfoot, Mothman, ghosts, urban exploring, the land of the mound builders, just our history, man. Heaven is real. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Like, there's lands beyond the ice world. There's thousands of continents. Like, we need to bound together and find these truths. Like, there are so many strange things out there that one another, we are brother and sister. We need to be one. Definitely check me out on Instagram. That's my most up-to-date stuff. YouTube gets everything, though. All my videos go there. Bigfoot Anonymous on YouTube. Follow me, guys. Reach out to me.
TikTok, all that goodness.
Checking out the vibes. I'm going to drop a couple pictures real quick. I took that a couple months ago in the swamp. It's a solid Bigfoot face. It's black and white in the video, or I mean in my book, but that's a nice colored picture.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
This is a picture of a strange carcass in Honey Island Swamp. It's a possible rougarou. Some people said it's a bloated gator, but I'm wondering why no other gators would have ate it. And then this is the last one. This is a possible Bigfoot peeking. This is right behind the carcass. This is deep in the woods.
Oh, wow.
In Honey Island Swamp.
Interesting.
It's pretty wild.
Honey Island Swamp is supposed to have a lot of craziness in there.
Yeah, it was a bucket list, man. It was magical. And I also want to say I'm going to be at Tallahassee Infinity Con in June 5th and 6th. If you guys want to see the Giant Bone in person, if you guys want to get some autographed books, I'll be handing out these. I'm going to get some shirts made up, too. Thanks for making my logo, brother. I'm going to send you one once it's all going out. I got some airbrushed, and they came out pretty cool. But I got to talk to a screen printer and, see what I can do. I've screen printed myself, but it's definitely a process.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a lot of stuff that goes into making merch, and it's a nightmare. But dude, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, man. Seriously, guys, go and follow Connor on everything, the TikTok, the Instagrams, the YouTubes. Check out the books. They're available on Amazon. You guys definitely want to pick those up. If you're down in Florida, you want to hit up Tallahassee, you want to check out that Giant Bone, you want to get some stuff signed, go and check him out and enjoy that stuff. Seriously, because it's all, like I said, it's all about getting that knowledge out to the world. And also, guys, we've got the merch and the PayPal links are available in the description. All of that money that we are bringing in is going to help us get better equipment and to make the show better, bring you guys better content and things like that. We're trying to get more materials and things like that. And then also, as you guys know, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. You can also find me on TikTok. My TikToks are not so much paranormal as it is just me acting like an idiot.
I like those a lot. See, I haven't graduated. I haven't graduated to the fun side of TikTok. I just pretty much use my same videos, and I really want to. I feel like I'm shadow banned by freaking TikTok and Instagram, so I'm like at war constantly with them because I just want to give material to the people, and they're banning me, man. I'm just like pop, 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 pop. I'm so sick of it. Pop, pop, Zuckerberg. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I'm facing shadow bans, man. Everybody, ring the bell.
It happens, dude. It happens, dude.
They banning me.
Can't ban the word, when you're out there.
I hand them out.
Yeah.
I'll hand them out at City Hall. Once they're handed out, you can't ban these. Fahrenheit 451.
So when you guys are out there and you're following Connor, you're following me, you're following everybody in the chat, make sure that whoever you stumble across in the world of the paranormal, no matter how big, no matter how small, you're showing that love, you're showing that support, because we're all out there for the same reason. We're all out there for proof. We're all out there for knowledge, and we're all out there to find the same things. It may not be the same way that you'd do it, but it doesn't change the fact that we're all working. So, guys, with that being said, I love you all. God bless. And we will talk to you next week on Sparks of the Paranormal.